Join with me for a 15-minute meditation and allow the words that I speak to be the words of your own heart. As I relax and breathe into this moment, the full awareness of the oneness with Spirit is right here with me. I know there is only one source, nearer than my hands and feet. It is every aspect of me, and yet it is so much more. It is the source of everything. It is ever unfolding. It is all goodness, grace, and love. It is pure potentiality. It is all wisdom. And it is from this place that I am so thankful. I give constant thanks, for I know the best is yet to come. And yet I am living my best life ever right now. Day after day, I feel Spirit at one with me, and all my good and perfect gifts are available to me in this moment. I am surrounded by all the best in life. So I open my eyes and I choose to see my wonderful life. And I realize how amazingly blessed I am. I choose to see the positive aspects of my life today. I choose to focus on that which I want to see grow. I cease concentrating on the negative things in my life, and I concentrate on the wonderful things. For I know they are coming into reality. As I concentrate on the wonders and beauty and the grateful things in my life, even more is drawn to me. That is my point of power. I see the miracles of life, and I realize that I am part of all that is, and that I live and move and have my being within this amazing field of pure potentiality that I call God. I make a habit today of approaching life with the right mind, with the right thoughts. I am joyous. I am expectant. I have absolute faith that only the very best is for me. Over and over again, I hear the still small voice that says, I want only the best for you. So today I choose to allow only the best. I choose to be number one. I deserve it. I am worthy. Today I choose to think in a wholehearted way rather than a half-hearted way. I choose a new way of being and thinking. I know that Spirit wants all the best that I could ever possibly hold and have. So today I allow it. Today I have learned to put first things first in my life. All the very best is mine now. I know that as I do this, I give others the permission to do it as well. I choose to leave worrying for others. I know the how is up to Spirit. I know that God can. So I choose to accept and allow and have faith. I know where my faith and belief is. It is in my oneness with Spirit. It is in the knowledge that Spirit is all there is. I know my security lies in the supportive, loving embrace of the universe. Today I choose to get my values straight. Today I use meditation to see clearly how I am supported by the universe. Today I find the perfect balance in life. I raise my consciousness to greater heights. I live a wonderful life every day, connected to Spirit, in the flow. I know the kingdom of heaven is within me. It is waiting for me to recognize it. I know this to be true. I believe it. I see it in my everyday life. I know the kingdom of heaven is a state of mind. I know it is within me. I choose to open myself up to see even more of how I am connected, how my life can be heaven today. I know I can bring about anything I really desire. My every desire is of the very highest and best for me. And I know that what is good for me also benefits everyone else. I choose the desires that are the highest and best for everyone concerned. Every day I learn to control and discipline my thinking. I know that I have achieved a lot already, and I am a student of life. I continue to get better and better in my thinking. I choose to move forward with a clear intention to persevere and to be patient. I celebrate my successes. I know that every day, a little bit more, I am able to control and discipline my every thought, word, and deed. And I bring about the most wonderful results in my life. I am working with the law of the universe. I am in the flow. I am a walking miracle, or as I like to say, a walking natural. Today I have a deep desire to make it work. I have the faith and belief that it can work. And I have a definite vision in my consciousness. I see it working out step by step. And then I release it to Spirit to bring it to me in my highest and best. I start right now to do everything that has to be done. And I have the right attitude. And I see what happens. I see everything working out in true perfection. And I always give thanks. I know that gratitude keeps the door wide open. I know that gratitude enables more and more to work out in my life. My life is filled with joy. I know the universe always says yes to me. I count my blessings every day. I know how amazingly blessed I am, and I give thanks. I know that gratitude works like magic in my life. I have seen the transformation in my life and continue to see it every day. I know that life is indeed what I make it. And because of this, my whole attitude is always looking for the best in every situation. I am a real optimist. I am a realist. I have proved it for myself, and I expect the very best in everything I undertake. I know that I can do it perfectly, for what is mine to do is always in front of me for me to choose it. So today I look at my life and see where I need to change. Now I am willing to change. I'm willing to change my thinking, my behavior, my attitudes, to allow for my best life to unfold. I learn to change, and I change quickly. I choose to move forward with clear intention. And I know that every change is indeed for the very best. So I relax and I let go, and I let Spirit take over. For I know that I am in the flow of the universe. I know that it is already done, and so it is. Welcome to Unity Online. I'm so delighted that you're here with us again this week. I'm Reverend Anna Hokangas, and this is Emilio Zaras, and hopefully we'll have some fun today. So let's move on, and let's start with our first song, Intimate with the Infinite, by Amy Steinberg and Emilio Zaras.
Let me be intimate with the infinite. Let me be deeply revealed. I wanna be one with the knowing, ever present, ever growing. Let me remember what's real. Let me be intimate with the infinite, vulnerable and free. I wanna be one with the sweetness, completely one with completeness. Let me be gentle with me, falling in love with everything. Falling in love with divinity, falling in love with everyone, because God is in you and God is in me. Let me be intimate with the infinite. Let me be open to you. I want to sing in the spirit. I feel it, I hear it, I see in your eyes the truth. Falling in love with everything. Falling in love with divinity. Falling in love with everyone, because God is in you, God is in me. Woo! Take it away. Give it to me, give it to me, God. Give it to me, give it to me, God. I'm ready to receive your love. Give it to me, give it to me, God. Give it to me, give it to me, God. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to receive your love. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to receive your love. I'm ready to receive. Ready to receive your love.
Yes, Emilio's been doing hot yoga again, and I was saying to him, I mean, it's almost 35 degrees out. Why not just sit outside? Anyway,
I love it. That's how I play.
So let's go to What Would Love Do Now by Eddie Watkins Jr.
My pores are open. So is my heart. just before you say something you can't take away. Take a breath and let it out. Try to think about what would love do now. Wondering if I should cross that line for good. Whatever you decide, ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? Everything is either an act of love or a cry for love. That's why for love we try for love. In the end, that's all we know that's real. Whether right or wrong doesn't matter, just as long as you let your heart decide. Ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? Everything is either an act of love or a cry for love. That's why for love we try for love. In the end, that's all we know that's real. Whether right or wrong doesn't matter, just as long as you let your heart decide. Ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? What would love do now? What would love do now? What would love do now?
Join with me in this joyous moment for this opening intention. As I breathe and relax into this moment, I know without a doubt that Spirit is joy, and joy fills every aspect of my being. I know without a doubt that as I open myself up to the awareness of joy, I have more reasons to be joyful. And so I take this moment to pause and to feel the joy bubbling up in me. It is an endless supply that comes from Spirit. And it is becoming me right here, right now. Oh, it feels so good. With a grateful heart, I allow this to continue in my day, in my week, and in the days to come. I let go and let it be so. Please join with me in affirming, and so it is. And our next song, Get Ready My Soul, Daniel Maymod and Emilio Zares.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever been, Everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment here, to a new beginning here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. And here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Gorgeous. Today's absolute word, vitalized. I am divine life, whole, strong, and full of vitality. Nature in its summer splendor invites me to rest and rejuvenate. Cats and dogs bask in the sunlight. A gentle breeze carries the scent of flowers. The sunset provides a moment of splendor at the end of each day. I follow cues I perceive in nature. I invest time and relax and rejuvenate. I find a quiet place to reflect on my divinity. Perhaps I sit on a rock near the water, or a park bench, or just my patio. I settle into meditations. I breathe in the fresh air and let go of any worries. Whew. Aligning with my spiritual nature renews me with each breath. I open myself to fresh perspectives. Mindful to maintain balance in my life, I devote myself to rest and rejuvenation. I am divine life, whole, strong, and full of vitality. Why don't you say that with me? I am divine life, whole, strong, and full of vitality. Well, here we are, month of August, and we pause for guidance. And it's time for a tune-up. So let's focus on that. How about this affirmation? Care to say it with me? Today I am realigned with spiritual truth. And realigned means remembering yet again that there is so much more going on in life, and that is spirit. And that as soon as you align with the truth of your being, that there is so much more going on, and it's full of potential, that things can and do transform in your life. So let's take a look at what does getting a tune-up spiritually actually mean. So first I'd like to look at getting support and what does that look like, and then evaluating where we're at, and then the idea of reciprocity, that what you give out comes back, and that that's a spiritual principle too. So whatever you identify yourself with, you will become like. Whatever you resist until you make it a reality, you will also become like. I want you to hear that second part. This is from Ernest Holmes, this thing called you. Whatever you resist until you make it a reality, you will also become like. So whether we focus on that which we desire or that what we don't want, we get a yes as an answer from the universe. And the tune-up time right now is to look at your life right now, and if things aren't working out in certain areas, what have you been affirming? What have you been believing? What have you been having universe, God, spirit, creator, say yes to? So let's dive a little deeper. So let's get some support. I don't know if any of you have done this. I know that when I first came to a Unity Center, we had the opportunity to create a God can. And as volunteers, we spent all this time with these Coca-Cola cans because our minister loved to drink Coca-Cola. We'd take these Coca-Cola cans and wrap them with a piece of paper that said God can. And it was a double entendre, of course, because it was a God can, but it also meant that God can, that when we think we can't, God can. And so I'll talk about it like a God jar, like Julia Cameron says. A God jar is anything you wish it to be, in which you can put your wishes, dreams, problems, prayers. You may want to think of it as a spiritual mailbox. Or how about taking it another step further? Gmail. Instead of Google Mail, it's God Mail. And it's really quite magical. It's a bit like the final step in a prayer where you let it go and you leave the how up to spirit. That when you have a God jar or a God can, and you put a piece of paper in there that says either your desires, your wishes, or something that you want to release to spirit, that somehow we have done this definitive act within spirit, and things start to transform. It really does work. So if we want to grow, we must take time for a regular spiritual tune-up. And I know that you're not really sure what I mean by that, and so I'd like to unpack that a little bit more. So Julia Cameron has this wonderful technique. She's the writer of a number of books, and she wrote The Artist's Way, and she talks about morning pages. And Julia is in a video here that I will show you in just a moment, that she really believes that these morning pages make room for the good that Spirit has for us during the day, if we declutter our mind before we begin.
I want to talk to you first about morning pages. These are the bedrock tool of a creative recovery. They are 3 pages of longhand morning writing that you do first thing on waking. So you're trying to catch yourself before your defenses are up. Morning pages are 3 pages of mulling over anything and everything that crosses your path. So they might be petty, whiny, grumpy, or they might be jubilant, happy, joyous. So whatever they are, that's what you put on the page. And as you put them on the page, you begin to find that you are prioritizing your own day and setting aside a course for yourself that keeps you from being hijacked into other people's agendas. So there's one more thing I'd like to mention, and that is that morning pages are done in the morning. If you find yourself writing pages at night, you're reviewing a day that you've already had and you're powerless to change. So what you want to do is catch yourself. I drink iced coffee. I make a pot of coffee the night before, put it in the refrigerator, and when I get up in the morning, I go straight to the refrigerator, straight to the coffee, pour myself a big iced coffee, and settle in to write. I should add another thought, which is that morning pages are done by hand, and there's a reason for this. If you do them on the computer, you're getting speed and distance, but not depth. It's as though you're driving in a car and you're going 80 miles an hour, and you go, oh my God, was that my exit? Meanwhile, if you do them by hand, you're perforce writing more slowly, so you're going maybe 35 miles an hour, and oh, here comes my exit, and there's a convenience store. How lovely.
So basically, to recap, morning pages are 3 pages of longhand stream of consciousness writing, done first thing in the morning. There's no wrong way to do morning pages. They are not high art. They are about anything and everything that crosses your mind, and they are for your eyes only. So you can write whatever it is that you choose in those morning pages. I know the first time that I had the opportunity to do them, there was an awful lot of negativity and whining and being grumpy on those morning pages, probably for about 6 weeks. And then on about the 7th week, it was as though something lifted. It was as though I had been carrying around, not realizing it, all of this negativity. And when I was able to release it on the page every day, there must have been quite a bit for it to take 6 weeks for me to unload, but I did. And all of a sudden I felt lighter, brighter, and happier. So I invite you to consider it as a lifelong spiritual practice. To do that, it's like taking out the garbage. Clean your mind before you begin so that you are open for that which is unfolding. And that's why it's key that it's not for anyone else to see. And it's not for you to even reread it after. That's not the intention. It's to just get it out so that it doesn't live within you. So you will improve how much energy you feel. You're going to lower your negative experiences. You're going to restore your power, and you're going to improve your performance when you have a tune-up. A bit like a car. When we tune up our cars, we make our engine easier to start. It improves fuel economy, lowers emissions, restores lost pep and power, and improves the engine performance. So don't you want to be peppier and more powerful and just feel more vital? Then let's get on with this tune-up. Would you like to realign with the infinite? Would you like to get intimate with the infinite? Are you getting a regular prayer tune-up, for instance? We have this wonderful resource for us, and it's a worldwide resource called Silent Unity. And I highly recommend that you connect with them as often as you like. You can send them a text, you can send them an email, or you can give them a call. And they will tune you up with an affirmative prayer. And it is the most wonderful experience. I do it via email so that I get an email back, and I get to read that email as often as I like. So I invite you to do that for yourself. It's such a treat. So when we go to a chiropractic adjustment, for instance, we align our spine. When we go to a dentist, he improves the health of our teeth. Wouldn't you like to have increased vitality? So why not invite other people in to help you out? And the people at Silent Unity and us and our prayer team will also be here for you if you choose that. You are to find the roots of your life in pure spirit. This is from Ernest Holmes. Lose your sense of being separated from your good, and you will find that you are united with it. You are to find the roots of your life in pure spirit. Lose your sense of being separated from your good, and you will find that you are united with it. And I guess what Ernest Holmes is saying there is that when you remember, when you take the time to recall the truth of your being and to remember it and to breathe into it, to lean into the knowing that it resides at the core of your being, that everything is possible. And even the most negative experiences can be transformed. Full screen, please, Randy. The basic principle of truth is that the mind of each individual may be consciously unified with divine mind through the indwelling Christ. By affirming at one-ment with God mind, we eventually realize the perfect mind, which is Christ Jesus. And we at Unity do believe that Jesus was really the perfect example of what each of us as human beings can do, though we don't always choose to, or sometimes we're afraid or think that we can't. The thing is that he was the example, the way shower of how one can live their life. So you too can and do perform miracles, just with the remembering that you are one with Spirit. And when you connect, it's absolutely amazing how your life can transform. So let's evaluate. Getting into a relationship with the universe takes time, commitment, and conviction. And I'm here to tell you, on this spiritual journey, there isn't really a destination. It's filled with experiences that are building on my understanding of what Spirit is. And so I invite you to build on your understanding in whatever way you choose. Know that it does take time and commitment, and just because you decide that you are now going to be aligned with Spirit doesn't mean that it happens quite that quickly. I know a number of people that I have met over the years who have said, I really want an intimate relationship with Spirit. And somehow, I guess they have this idea in their mind that it needs to look or feel a certain way. The thing is that Spirit and our experience of it is really individual. And you will know when you know. And so that's why it's a spiritual journey. Keep on trying different tools, different techniques, different ways of being. And one day you're going to notice that any heavy burden that you may have been carrying or any negative way of being that you have been doing occasionally or all of the time starts to transform to something of lightness, of hope, of possibility, of power. Where would you like to improve in your life and be teachable in that area? So think for a moment, what area of your life would you like to improve? And are you ready to be teachable? Because that's the second step. And in Unity Principles, we talk about creating our life through our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. But we also have to take action. We have to live that truth. And so it's one thing to say, well, I want to improve my health, for instance, but then what are you going to do about it? Because God doesn't drop out of the sky and say, poof, here it is. Though sometimes that can happen. Usually, you get insights, you get ideas, you get moved in a particular direction to do something. And then when you follow that, everything else unfolds. So here's another video by Julia Cameron, and it's about the artist's state. So this is another tool that you can use.
Art is an image-using system. So when we make a piece of art, we fish for images, and when we find the images, we put them on the page. Now, this is something that I call dropping down the well. It takes you from your present reality into a deeper and more profound spot. So when I say to people, now you need to drop down the well, they know what I mean because they've been dropping down the well every morning to do morning pages. But what I really want to talk about is the idea that when you are doing a beautiful piece of writing and you're writing along sort of like a bat out of hell, and you're just doing perfectly, and then suddenly it dries up. What happened? And what happened is that they say, Julia, I was doing so well. Why did it dry up? And I say, it dried up because you were doing so well. Everybody has an inner trout pond that they keep stocked with images. And when you write flat out, you're hooking images. And if you overhook your well, you have fewer and fewer images, and they're harder and harder to find. So what I want them to do is something called an artist's date, which is a once-a-week solo expedition to do something that's enchanting and fun, sort of thinking more of maybe mystery than mastery. And when you go on your artist's date, you don't write about it. You go out, you have an experience, you come back home, and the writing that comes out next is richer and deeper because you have filled the well.
And though Julia doesn't talk about the artist's date from the standpoint of just everyday living, I think that tool, the artist's date, really applies, because we have our own inner trout pond. And the thing is that sometimes it does get depleted. Have you felt that? Where you just feel empty inside, there is nothing, and you don't know where to get the replenishment from? And it comes from taking the time to do something once a week. And once a week doesn't have to be limited to that, but something that brings you joy, that you do not spend anyone else's time with. You do it by yourself and just experience life and experience the joy of your life. So I invite you to consider that. This is another quote from Ernest Holmes. Your mind is an outlet through which the creative intelligence of the universe seeks fulfillment. And it's times like an artist's date, it's times like writing morning pages, it's times like when you're meditating that you open up to those ideas from spirit. You get still enough and you become aware enough that it can come in and fill your mind with all these great ideas. So try it. Are you hiding parts of you to protect yourself? And I'm not talking about like hiding under clothes. I'm talking about your personality and who you really are to protect yourself. And I know that at this time in the world, as people are identifying sexually differently, as people are coming to terms with the idea that we're all the same in spite of the color of our skin or the culture that we come from, that we are all human beings with a desire for happiness, a desire for love, that we feel pain, all of those things. I know that we're evolving in that. But is there something still with you that you're feeling you need to hide because it doesn't feel safe? And only you can answer that. And only you can answer, if you think about it, why? Why are you feeling the need to hide it? And maybe there's a really legitimate reason, because maybe people have made fun of you, or it has been painful when you have revealed who you truly are. I don't know the answer to that, but it's a good place to start, is that question. And so when I talk about being teachable, I talk about being open to other ways of being, other ways of doing. And teachable also means being humble. And I don't mean making yourself small in someone else's eyes. Being humble from the standpoint that maybe there is another way. Maybe there's another answer. And that answer will come when you're teachable, when you're willing to say, okay, I've done it my way. Now I'm open for something better. I'm open to another way. Being humble creates an inner freedom from having to protect those parts that we try to hide from ourselves and others. I know I spent a good part of my life hiding parts from myself even, and when they would reveal themselves, I'd be shocked and try to squelch them down. And I know I also hid from other people. I remember first man that I dated in my 20s. I ended up actually marrying him for a few short years. But he used to say how proud he was of the fact that he could take me anywhere and I was like a chameleon. And that I could fit in everywhere I went. And I thought that I had to change everywhere I went to be accepted. I didn't realize that I could just be me. And then if I wasn't accepted somewhere, to say, well, this isn't the place for me. I've come a long way, and I bet you have too. Our troubles begin the moment our teachers believe they know it all, and our learners think they are not teachable. And you know, I spent a lot of my time really in that place. I don't know if you have. Thinking I wasn't teachable. And having teachers that insisted that they knew more than I did. And for a time they did. They didn't value, though, what I brought to the equation. And I'd like to invite you to consider that you have spirit at the core of your being. And you have the wisdom of the universe. The omniscience that is spirit resides right where you are. And that everything that you require to live a full and happy life is accessible to you. And it doesn't have to be someone else's way. Sometimes you can choose to do it someone else's way just because it's easier or fun. But make it a choice, a deliberate choice. And embrace your humanness. When you fail at a task or don't live up to expectations, it doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you. Whether it's your own expectations or someone else's. I mean, everyone that is really good at something had to practice a fair bit. They didn't get there just like that. And if they did, it wasn't sustainable because they didn't have the muscle memory or whatever it was to keep it going. You're okay just the way you are. You're human. And mistakes actually aren't mistakes. They're an opportunity to learn and to choose again. So when we fail at something that's important to us, like a job or a relationship, for example, self-esteem can really plummet. Because we're tied to the idea that somehow your own value is attached to that relationship or to that job. The thing is that there is something bigger going on. Usually when something falls away, it's making room for something bigger, better, and more awesome. Because there's a desire deep within you to experience life in a different and probably better way. So how about when it seems like it's a failure to say, how can I be teachable here? What is actually happening? What's unfolding that I don't even know about yet that's going to make my life even better? Just a thought. Your ability to withstand failure or criticism comes from your sense of intrinsic value of being human rather than outer means. So if you have a tough time with criticism, and there was a long time in my life where I really tippy-toed through life trying to not make any mistakes because I didn't want to be criticized, because I felt that the criticism was directly attacking my person rather than the activities that I was doing, or that I wasn't showing up the way someone expected me to show up, which was not anything to do with me, had to do with them. And sure, I still care about what other people think, and I take criticism seriously if it's constructive. But unsolicited and just being mean or just coming from someone else's agenda doesn't need to live in my world anymore. How about you? Happiness is always the other side of being teachable. I want you to hear that. Happiness is always on the other side of being teachable. And being willing to be a beginner every single morning. Can you do that? Be a beginner every morning? First, you have to remember. Morning pages will help you do that. So are you teachable? Even in Proverbs 12:1, they say, any who love knowledge want to be told when they are wrong. It is stupid to hate being corrected. I didn't know that the word stupid was actually in the Bible, did you? But really what they're saying is that you're holding yourself back if you're not allowing yourself to be corrected, to be teachable. And are you willing to be? Now you could say, you know what? You don't know what you're talking about. And they may not, and that's okay. But you made that choice deliberately. So reciprocity. Lose that which you don't want and share the thing that you do want. And that's what I'd like to talk about in reciprocity. If you want more love, then be more loving. If you want great relationships, then be a great partner, a great friend. If you want more money in abundance, then be generous with what you have. And if you want great health, then celebrate the areas in which your health is great and do what it is that is required to move you in the direction of even better health. That's reciprocity. And that's a spiritual law. And so, what's not working for you? How can you reciprocate to allow it to start to work for you? Choose to lose unhappiness, judgment, and victim mentality. You can lose it just like you found it. You can lose it just like you found it. I'll say it again. You can lose it just like you found it. So let go of all that negative stuff, all of that stress, all of that yucky, icky, sticky, and choose something instead that feels better. And maybe it's not a big thing that feels better. Maybe you have to start with baby steps, and that's okay. Wherever you need to begin, just begin. You can create a ritual and let that go, allowing what you want to reveal itself with you. So whatever ritual you want to do, maybe it's using the God jar or a God can, or writing something on a piece of toilet paper and flushing it down the toilet, or just yelling it out in the forest, saying, I let this go, and allow yourself to be filled up with something new. Whatever works for you. To truly find anything, love, money, help, support, we must share that which we want more of in our lives. So where are you ready to be more generous? Where are you ready to share? Where are you stuck? Because as you begin to share, it starts to happen for you. If you want more peace, find ways to share peace in the world. If you want more love, find ways to be loving with more people. If you want more friends, be a friend to someone first. The law of reciprocity. Me and Randy, I say, I love you, hoping that he'll say, I love you back. And he looks at me and rolls his eyes. And the thing is that what I want to talk about there is this idea that reciprocity works when you don't have a hidden agenda. And so if you're doing something having to do with having more friends, but you're being a fake friend, or you're wanting someone to say I love you without saying please say I love you, and just fishing for it, or if you're wanting to have more money but you're hanging on to what you have without freely giving in a generous way, then what you're actually doing is actually affecting the law of reciprocity. You're slowing things down because you don't really mean it. And the thing is, if I'm really, really, really honest, Randy shows me in so many ways in my life how much he loves me. He doesn't need to say it to me, but I need to say it. So now I say it without the expectation of getting it back, though I would like to hear it back once in a while.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
No!
See what I mean? Okay, so here are some questions to just wrap this up. Are you getting regular spiritual tune-ups? What is preventing you from doing them? And I hope that these talks that we do here at Unity are part of your tune-ups. Where in your life would you like improvement? And are you willing to start with a beginner's mind and be humble? What are you willing to lose? Because every time you gain something, you have to let something go. What would you like instead? What would you like to share, knowing that you're going to be in the flow of that in a grand way? How can the sharing of something be the evidence of the universe that you have it? Answer that one again. I'll say it again. How can the sharing of something be the evidence to the universe that you have it? It's a mindset, it's an attitude, isn't it? Is that when you come from a place of willingness, openness, generosity, then that feeling generates more openness and more love and more generosity. And so you start to be in this vortex of more and more of that being drawn to you. Doesn't that sound wonderful? So let's do it. Let's start right now. So time for a tune-up. So get support. Connect with a prayer practitioner regularly and get a prayer partner if you can. Be teachable. Take classes in the areas of life that you'd like to see improved. And share that which you are seeking. So we talked about the God jar, morning pages, the artist's date. And you may have some other ideas. And that's how you get the support. And evaluate regularly where you are in your spiritual journey. And remember the law of reciprocity. It is an amazing, amazing law. So say this with me if that's comfortable. Today I am realigned with spiritual truth. And so it is. Let's anchor this with a song. I Will Surrender. Karen Drucker, David Robb, and Faith Rivera, and of course, Emilio Zaris.
I will surrender to my highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and I let spirit be my guide. I vow to live my life that's real and true and free, as I continue walking in this mystery. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day, and I'm more loving every moment, every day. I will surrender every moment, every day.
Join with me in this prosperity affirmation. From the love of pure spirit in me, I bless all that I give. It goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith in the good in my life. It does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. I am prosperous. Woohoo! Yippee! Here's a great song by Amy Skye, Instrument of Peace.
Where there is hatred, let me bring love. Where there is doubt, let me bring faith. Where there is falsehood, let me bring where there is pain, I'll comfort you. Where there is silence, let me sing praise. Where there's despair, let me bring hope. Where there is blindness, let me bring sight. Where there is darkness, let me be light. And with these words I speak, grant that I may not seek to be heard, but to hear, to be consoled, but to console, not to be seen, but to see, to be loved, has to love. For when we give love, we will of peace. Of
Oh, make me an instrument of peace. Join with me in consciousness for this closing prayer. Close your eyes if that's comfortable, and invite the thoughts of all of those in your life to be included in this prayer. The infinite mind of God, which is my mind, fills my consciousness with all I need to live a full and happy life. I follow the guidance. I am peaceful. I release all fear. I am living love. And so it is. And let's end with this beautiful song, I Am the Place Where God Shows Up. And it's perky enough to even dance to.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God
You are the place.
moves and breathes and has
We are the
I
place
am the place
where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God
You are the place.
breathes and has
We are the place
I am the place
where God shows up. I want you to clap your hands and sing it with me. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves
Watkins. Husk, can I have some more of that? Can we have some more of that? A little more? A little more.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up.
Eddie Watkins.
Thank you.
Good job, brother. Outstanding. Eddie Watkins Jr.